Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. Well, happy Mother's Day. All you mothers who are taking care of children, the ones that have their children grown up and they've left, and all the mothers to be that will have children in the future. Happy Mother's Day. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And, here in Puerto Rico, it's a big thing. Everything is closed. So except for a couple drugstores and things like that. So I think it's a pretty auspicious occasion here, and it's a special Mother's Day here because my wife's mother is in the intensive care unit at the hospital, and she's having some cardiopulmonary problems, and so we are up there twice a day. Yeah, they only let three people at a time in there, and so she's getting better. And so if you would say a prayer for her, I really would appreciate that. Um, you know, she's going to miss Mother's Day here at our house, but you know, we're going to be praying for her, and I know she's going to get better. And well, she's 93. More power to her. She's doing great. And so we have to move forward and live by her example. She's been a loving, caring, giving mother forever. She loves to cook for people, and that's what her goal is in life: is to make people happy by sharing food. Really. She gives food to this neighbor, she gives food to that neighbor, she gives food across the street. And she's a wonderful cook too. So, what more can you say? Mothers are amazing. Mothers give birth to us, and they go through terrific pain. I don't think men have a clue. And and they also go through a whole bunch of pain watching us go through our pain. I remember one particular time my brother and I got up on the roof. We were going to fly a lawnmower off the roof. My mom caught us in time. So thank heavens we're still alive now. But anyway, it's very important that we honor our mother and father, and emulate them as much as possible, and try to make some changes in ourselves if we see some things that they're just human too. You know what I mean? Sometimes they have tough challenges of their own, especially as growing as people. Divine Mother Amma here, an amazing being. And her mother and father used to beat her all the time, because they thought, we don't want a special person around the house. And Divine Mother Amma would pray all the time and would have, these visions of being Krishna. Their actual facial expression would change, and she would become Krishna at first, and then she became Divine Mother later. And the mother and father were not happy about this. They didn't want their house turned into an ashram. They did not. Later in life, they started honoring Divine Mother as Divine Mother. And they now have a huge ashram there. And Divine Mother does a huge amount of good around the world as far as, you know, building hospitals that are free, uh, building schools that people can go to for free, and helping women, and helping people who have no money, and building homes for people who are absolutely destitute, and all kinds of things. So, pretty amazing story. And friends could be angels too. Friends are amazing when we need somebody to be close to us when we are really in a dire, state of some kind. I remember one time I had a little Honda Del Sol, and I got broadsided by a truck. And the highway patrolman said, if it would have been this much different, you wouldn't be here right now. And I was like, oh, I was physically shaken. I could hardly stand up. And they took me out of the car, and I tell you, I called one of my good friends. He just said, "I'll be there," like that, and she was, and took me down to the ocean. I lived in Monterey at the time, and sat there for a while, and I was just sobbing, crying, because I thought I saw my life flash before me. I thought I was a dead person. There's no doubt about it. But it was pretty emotional, and she stayed with me and helped me get through that. And so it was, and my friends were there to rally around me and help me get through that hard time. So friends are amazing angels also, and I think that we have all kinds of angels in our lives, and we never really think about them as being important. There's the mother angels that we have, where there are the friend angels that we have. Then we have the ethereal angels, Gabriel, Raphael, Ariel, Michael, and many, many more that are uh, written up in all the spiritual texts. I think it's really important that we also connect with our own guardian angels, which are all around us at all times, and they're and I think they've been talked about down through history for a reason because people see them. I remember one man having driving down the road. It was snowing one night, and he came to a stop because he saw some headlights, and the man was slumped over in a car. And then he looked back, and all of a sudden he saw this being of light that was holding this man. It had his two hands on his chest, and he saw light going into this man's chest. And then he looked away for a second, and then that being would disappear. And then he called 911, and the ambulance came. But luckily, for some kind of, like I said, divine intervention, that man survived. And that man swears he saw this divine being. And when he looked into the eyes of that divine being, that angel, he says, all I could see was love. All I could see was love. And he said, I was not drinking or smoking anything. He said, and it changed that man's life forever. And we should be so lucky to see that. And I was sitting at my desk over here this last week, and all of a sudden I saw this huge flash of light beside me, and I go, wow, one of my angels is beside me. And we, normally poo-poo that kind of thing, and we don't even take it in, or we say, oh, that's just, something in my eyes, you know what I mean? The lights flickered for a minute or whatever, but this was a flash of light. I could actually see it. It was like a round spear of light. It was like, wow, look at that. They're with me. There's no doubt about that. And we should talk to our angels, and talking to our angels is very important. Just talk to them like they were somebody else in your life, your good friend, and ask them how they can help you. Also, one of the things that you can do is ask them, what is your name? Ask the angel, what is your name? And it'll come to you right away. It won't be maybe a voice, but it'll come to you in your head. And it'll say, wow, my angel is guardian angel Mark. I mean, it's like, I asked him, why Mark? He said, I've been following you for all your lives, and I've been watching you progress, and I am one of the guardian angels watching over you. And that was really impressive. I know for sure that in some situations, just like in that, when I got hit in that car wreck, somebody was watching over me, absolutely, positively. Like I said, 1 inch in one direction or the other, I would not have been there. And so we can also ask them to reveal themselves. Sometimes angels show up as balls of light, spears, or orbs of energy. This seems to be the one way that they can make themselves known in this plane, and they can also do verbal talk and also have some kind of visual effect that shows up. And so if you can get that to happen, that's wonderful. I mean, they can show up and be there for you. Or you just see a flash of light. Maybe you see this outline of some kind of being of light. It's pretty amazing. Also, ask them for guidance. You know what I mean? They're there to help us. Which way to go. Maybe particular Firefighters, they have their own particular angels that which look over them. They have, policemen have their own particular, you know, angels or deities that watch over them also. So ask them for guidance. Ask them to help you. I know one particular firefighter. He got lost in the middle of a burning house, and he was like, I can't find my way out. I'm going to die here. The things are getting really hot. And they were about to bring in a team to look for him. And all of a sudden, he saw this woman appear in front of him. And she said, that way. And he got down there and she said, that way. And he made his way out of the house. I mean, it's pretty amazing that, his guardian angel was coming to him and saying, keep moving, keep moving. It's not your time yet. You're not going to be, leaving this plane. So they can be with us at any time that we need them, and we can actually connect with them. They can actually bring thoughts to our head because you think something, and it's just our normal thinking, and all of a sudden something comes out of the blue, which is not our normal thinking, and wow, this is not my thinking. They can actually bring those things to us, and I think that's really important. And they can bring visuals to us also. I got a really interesting thing the other day. I was looking for a publisher, and a publisher actually showed up for my new book. And I was pondering whether I should do this or not. And all of a sudden, I got this little message on my phone. Out of the blue, it says, go for it, What better divine message than that from an angel? Go for it. And when I was thinking about whether I should do this or not. So I think that, we are getting these divine messages all the time. So I think it's really important that we listen. Also, we have particular angels around us all the time when we're going through hard times too. I remember when I lived in that 6x9 room with no windows, no water, no bathroom, no nothing. I had a guardian angels with me all the time. And they helped me to get through those hard times because they kept coming into my thinking process and moving me away from, thinking terrible negative things and moving me back to, I'm going to overcome this. I have something to do. And we should look up. There's no doubt about that. This process of looking up, if you just look up like that, there's actual changes in the spinal cord in the back of your neck, and that create a movement of energy to your brain, and it creates endorphins in your brain. That's an amazing thing. So anytime we look up, just looking up like that creates, the fact that we can be happy because we look up. And then when we look down, the opposite happens. So looking up is important. So don't look down. Look up. And I think it's really important, especially when we're going through some parts of our life and where we end up with sadness and depression and we're going through a hard time. I don't think of this as really a bad thing. I think of it as being like a caterpillar, and he's, spinning his silk and creating this cocoon, and we're going inside into this darkness, and eventually we come out and become a butterfly, something wonderful. And I know for me, when I came out of that many months of being in that tiny little room, I was a changed person because I had to go inside. And I had to go inside to find strength. I had to go inside to change who I was. I had to go inside and make a difference in my own life. And I found strength, and I would scream out, God, I'm not giving up. And so we can do that. And that's another thing that the angels help us with, is to find that strength inside. Also, we do have some destiny involved, you know what I mean? Destiny is there. I know that Deepak Chopra went to India, and they have these palm leaf readers. And these palm leaves have been copied many times. Most of them have been carbon dated back to 500 years, but they actually go back to the rishis, which are 5,000 to 10,000 years old. And it's pretty amazing stuff. Even Craig Hamilton Parker, he was a psychic, went and had a reading, and he was amazed. I mean, it told him, his mother's name, what her mother, when she died, his father, when he died, what he died of, what the mother died of, and what the sisters were doing, what their, professions were the brothers and sisters, and all these different things, what illnesses he already had and what illness he will have in the future, and on and on and on. And he was like, there's no way you can look all this stuff up on the internet, you know what I mean? And some of the things that he aspired to also, nobody knew about. Some of the things like nicknames that the people called him, or some of the people that he had in his life that called him, there's no way that you can look that up. On and on and on. And even the same thing happened to Deepak Chopra. So these things, these pieces of palm leaf are actually written down. And we do have a destiny also. And then Craig Hamilton Parker actually did the pujas, actually to clear some of his past karma. And that's really important also. So we do have a destiny. We are going in one particular direction. We do have angels around us which are helping us to move in that direction. And we can also clear up our karma. And one thing we can do to clear up our karma is saying the name of God over and over and over again. That is probably the most powerful thing that we can do. Not just God, that word, but Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, whoever that name is, and saying it over and over again, silently in our mind, or you could say it out loud. That is a great way to get rid of that karma. Also, being of service to others. That is a wonderful way. And the more we do good in this life, the more we clear up that karma from the past and allow ourselves to move in a whole new direction and allow ourselves to become a bright soul. And the more we let go of being this bodily being and become a spiritual being, the more that we allow ourselves to move in a positive direction and have, a better life in the way of helping other people. And that's what we're here for, to make a difference in some way, shape, or form. So allow yourselves to connect with your mothers today, connect with your guardian angel today, and also think about your destiny and how you're going to change your destiny to become exactly what you want. If you don't know what you want, then how are you supposed to get there? So think about what you want, write it down, that's important, and move in that direction. And I'm sure everything is going to work out. And so have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you want to get a hold of me, all my contact information is always down below. You can call me, email me, Skype me, text me. On Facebook under Dr. Paul Haider, there's a message area above. That's a good way also. So feel free to connect with me, and please subscribe. And also, if you care to make a donation, that is greatly, greatly appreciated. And have a wonderful day. And remember, most of all, I love you.